Hello, this is Nelson Olmsted. Today's story gives living testimony of the unconquerable human spirit. Before I begin, let's join Clint Gruber, who has a message from Pacific Power.
Welcome once again to Stories of Pacific Powerland, a presentation of Pacific Power and Light, the company that has been serving the electric needs of the region's homes, farms, and industries through more than half a century of progress and growth. Now, here's Nelson with an inspiring page from the storybook of Pacific Powerland.
A voice from somewhere said, Mr. Beck, can you hear me? Mr. Beck, if you hear me, blink your eyes. Mr. Beck? Gradually, the ultimate horror filtered into Robert Beck's foggy mind. He could hear, he could see, but he could not move. The automobile accident had left him paralyzed. The realization was devastating. How could he, a musician, live without the use of his hands? Death was preferable, and perhaps death was not far away after all, thought Robert Beck, for a priest was standing near his bed. And the priest said, My son, I must give you the courage to face God's will. You have suffered a broken neck and considerable brain damage. The doctors do not believe you will walk or play the organ again. Agonizing weeks passed. Robert Beck, unable to speak or move, discovered that his mind was clear. He could recall the music he had played for so many years at the grotto of the Sanctuary of Our Sorrowful Mother in Portland, Oregon. He clung to this memory, and it gave him strength. He could remember also the words of the 121st Psalm. He recited them over and over in his mind, and they gave him determination. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. During the long months in the hospital, Robert Beck's faith in God and in himself as a channel for God's will sustained both his life and his determination. Painfully and gradually, he regained some of his faculties. And then he returned to the one thing he knew best and believed in most, music. He thought, I must play again. And through music, I must help make life better for others who are handicapped, hurt, or impoverished. To regain the strength and flexibility of his fingers, the musician practiced long, tedious hours on the harp. He exercised, took therapy, began to walk again, recovered his power of speech, and finally he believed he was ready to inaugurate his grand plan. The Sanctuary of Our Sorrowful Mother, just off Sandy Boulevard in East Portland, is a vast natural cathedral. A tall stone cliff provides a perfect sounding board for a concert organ. When the organ music swells, it inspires not only the worshipers, but also the birds and the animals of the woodland to join in with their songs. It was here Robert Beck came at dawn one morning, and with fingers whose abilities had so miraculously been returned to him, he played and recorded the devotional music he had played so many times before on the grotto organ. And so, as the dew sparkled on the stones of the grotto, and the birds sang for joy, the swelling tones of the concert organ proclaimed the first step in Robert Beck's great plan. The recording made that day was mailed to Pope John at Vatican City, to Presidents Hoover, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, and Johnson, along with many other world leaders. With it went the outline for Robert Beck's dream. As he puts it, this record, along with the second one I've made called The Sound of St. Francis, is dedicated to the handicapped persons of the world. With the proceeds, I plan to build a retreat for handicapped children in the Cascade Mountains. This is a star I'm reaching for. It's a bright one. And it's my way of thanking God for granting me a new life.
During the long month